And hello again from WJ Live. I'm Josh Manning, Deputy Managing Editor for Assignment at the Western Journal. I am joined by Deborah. I always want to call Deborah Van Helsing. Her actual last name is Van Kempen, yes. But she's an intern with us, and from the day I met her, I thought, gosh, it sounds like Van Helsing. So I've had that stuck in my head.
That's just how it is now.
Yeah,
I will be undergoing a legal name change.
Deborah's joining me on the show today, and we are very excited to have a special guest with us today. Joining us online is Wayne Allyn Root, the capitalist evangelist, one of Amazon's best-selling authors. He is a massive radio host you're on USA Radio Networks, right, Wayne?
Correct.
And TV host, one of the youngest people to do all sorts of things in New York when he was coming up. He has got a best-selling book out called Trump Rules, and he's going to talk with us a little bit about that today. After we talk about the book, we're also going to talk about the election, the effort to steal the election. We're going to talk about voter fraud. We're going to talk about COVID and a number of other things. So, Wayne, thank you so much for being with us on WJ Live. We appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. I'm going to take a page, Josh and Deborah, from Donald Trump, and make sure I promote the actual book. Make sure everybody knows that's the book. Trump Rules. Got to always get that in picture. There's a book. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful. I chose that picture of Trump myself. On the back, picture of me at Trump White House and with Donald Trump and various good friend of mine. Great guy. Trump Rules.
Wayne,
and I just thrilled to be here today. Thanks for having me on.
Wayne, before we got on the air, I was talking with Deborah. I don't know if she knew you and I are friends. You're gracious enough to have me on your show from time to time. And I was describing you to Deborah as he's sort of like Donald J. Trump. He's kind of the Trump of Vegas. And that is the truth. When I see you, I see a whole lot of Trump. And you wrote Trump Rules because you've studied Trump for a long time. You noticed some things about him that made him successful. You wanted to share those with other Americans. And can you take just a minute and tell us about the book?
Yeah, first of all, Deborah, you're probably too young to even remember. There used to be ads on TV for Nike, and it was about Michael Jordan just 20, 30 years ago. Everybody would be like Mike, be like Jordan. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be like Donald Trump. And so when I was a freshman at Columbia University in 1979, Donald Trump was New York. He was like 30 years old, and I was 18, and the king of New York. And I said I want to be that guy. And so I set out to study and to emulate him and to model him. And over the next few years, keep in mind that I'm a nobody. I'm a butcher. So if I wanted a nice piece of bologna, I was connected. But other than that, I didn't know anybody. I had no money, no connections. SOB, son of a butcher, from the wrong side of the tracks. Literally grew up on a dead-end street in Mount Vernon, New York, in a dead-end town on the Bronx borderline, minority, almost a black town. And me went to an all-black middle school, all black high school. Got my ass kicked 20 for the day, 7 days a week, until I learned how to fight. Kicked some ass myself, and then we were all friends. But the point of this is that I was a nobody. Graduate college, I Trump's Rules, and I become the youngest political candidate at the time in history in New York. I become the youngest and on national TV. I was 26 years old, hired CNBC to host 5 shows and be anchor of their network in those days called Financial News Network. I wind up as the king of Las Vegas sports gambling. Sounded like he was in gambling. He was on TV. He was obviously a political candidate. He became president of the United States. A best-selling author. Trump's got Art of the Deal. I produced three hit reality shows. I produced the greatest reality show. I'm Celebrity Apprentice. I got a star on the Vegas Walk of Stars, 180-pound granite star. Sidewalk in Vegas. Guess what Trump has? Star in the Hollywood Walk of Stars. Our lives are so close. I copied him, and I became him. And I just rules down in writing, and I said one day I'm going to write a book about it. And I got to give one more part of the book that's amazing. One of what I achieved, because I give him all the credit, because these are rules. So I wanted to be me the biggest odds maker in the world, famous on CBS TV, Mr. Vegas. And after about 10 years of fighting to Jimmy the Greek, I became a partner on TV. And I wanted to be Rush Limbaugh, and I wound up with a syndicated, conservative talk. And I wanted to be Bill O'Reilly And I wound up with my own #1 show on Newsmax TV, three years, 750 shows. And who's my partner on that show? Bill O'Reilly.
Mhm.
And I always a huge fan of Pete Rose. I just took a company public, like literally just like Trump, public rated company. About 3 months ago, just announced on Friday that my new spokesman and partner TV is Rose. So I mean, those are most famous men in the history of America. And I literally had a chance to star with them or develop a career just like theirs. And I think it's all because of the rules I followed with Trump. I think anyone could do it. That's why I wrote this book. Everyone's going to be a millionaire. Not everyone's going to be a billionaire. But everybody, Josh and Deborah, can change their, improve their life, their business life, their professional life, their personal life, their conditions, whatever it is. For 26 at Amazon for a book, I guarantee you'll get your $26 worth. You'll probably get at least $100, maybe 1,000. Some people might get 1 million. But the point is, the Trump rules work, and I'm living, breathing thing on billboard that prove that it works.
And Wayne, when we look at the book, you know, a lot of people might see the book, see the title, see you on there, know who you are, and think, man, this is a super political book. This is not really a political book. This is a book about how to succeed, right?
No politics, none. I don't think I ever really touched on politics at all in the entire book. If I did, it was a short paragraph here or there. But it was really just about how I met Trump, how our lives intersect, how our lives have gone on paths because I studied him and wanted to be him, and some of him rubbed off on me that I literally became a version of Trump. Heck, even the liberals know it. The Daily Beast, which hates Trump and hates me, always say the things about me. They wrote a story that Wayne Allyn Root is the Donald Trump of Las Vegas. So I mean, even the liberals know it. So all I could say is that I became a mini Trump, and I think you can be Trumps too. Even if you hate him, say this because I can't stand liberals. But if you're liberal and you hate Trump and you read this book, you'll be better and better at politics. You'll be better at business. You'll be better at relationships and connections. You'll actually change your life if you're liberal too. Because Trump isn't about politics. Trump is about achievement, better in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my favorite Trump story, by the way, Josh and Deborah. Yeah. I was in Africa giving a speech, just like Trump. I gave speeches all over the world, business success and sales. And I gave a speech, and they hired a limo to take me to the airport. So I go from the Johannesburg to Johannesburg Airport, the hotel for it. And the African gentleman driving the car, black guy from South Africa, driving the car, listening to politics on the radio, and they're talking about Donald Trump. This 2015, and I said to him, "You're a fan of American politics?" And he said, "Yeah." And I, you know about Donald Trump? He says, I watch Apprentice every week, and you're the luckiest people in the world. He's going to be your next president of the United States. He's going to, this is the black African talking.
South African cab driver.
He's going to lift everybody up, and he's America great, like he makes all the contestants on Apprentice great. And I thought, there's the next president of the United States. They even know him driving a little of sub-Saharan Africa. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So Wayne, I wanted to ask you, I know we mentioned a bit before the show that I grew up in Vegas, and so it's so cool that you're kind of the Las Vegas man. So I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that in your freshman year at Columbia, you kind of started studying Trump, and that's when the fascination kind of happened. I wondered, why Donald Trump? What was it that drew you specifically to Trump?
Well, I mean, he was, you know, a young New York guy, a lot of ambition, which I was. Mm-hmm. You know, I wanted to be very wealthy in New York. Mm-hmm. And he was New York. I mean, he was young and handsome and dating at the time, married, but he was still dating women in New York while he was married. And in those days it was Ivana. I think it was Ivana Trump. And that was his first wife, but he was in the gossip, dating somebody new all the time. One of them was Marla Maples. He wanted to bring her. And they were always queens and actresses, and I said, my God, this guy is really cool. Mm-hmm. And I just set my sights. He was built Grand Hyatt Hotel in Grand Central Station when I first entered Columbia, and then the day I graduated Columbia, he was two months away from winning Trump Tower, which was the coolest, most gleaming skyscraper in the history of the world. Mm-hmm. And every day you opened up the New York Post, he was in the gossip column, doing something or dating someone out with some. And he was just the coolest guy. Why would you not want to be if you're in New York and you're young and you're in business? that's the guy you're aiming for, right?
Definitely.
Now, if you're just joining us, the book we're talking about is Trump Rules. It's by Wayne Allyn Root, the capitalist evangelist. Wayne, you've got a copy of it there. Show the folks who are watching at home.
I'm just reaching. I'm with you.
That's the book. That's the book. You can still get it on Amazon in time for Christmas, I am sure.
Christmas gift.
Wayne,
Any Trump fan in your life.
Wayne, you've got a list of rules in here that you sort of teased out from watching Trump's life. These are rules for success.
Yeah.
I don't want you to give the whole book away here, but what are one or two of the bigger rules that really made an impression on you?
Well, number one, of course, is Trump is a winner. Everything about winning. Winning is number one, and losing. Number two is losing. You know, it was in a race. There's 50 people. Coming in second is pretty good out of 50 people. Nope. To Trump. Trump, you're number one. And I don't. You know, I think that attitude is great. Not because it means you always win. Because Trump lost a lot, and I've a lot. I also follow in Trump's steps because I failed a lot. If you are a risk taker, if you're a guns and a risk taker, you're gonna fail a lot, and you're gonna succeed a lot. And I failed a lot, and I've had some bankruptcy, and I've been divorced, and I've led a very Trumpian life. But I've also always come back big time, and always comes back big time, big ever. Yeah. And I always come back bigger than ever. And so all I could tell is success and failure are interwoven. They're kind of part and parcel of the same coin, you know, success on the front, failures on the back. The first two rules of that winning is everything, but that you can fail your way to the top. Each time, you got to learn from it and come bigger and better than ever before, and figure out an angle how you turn the failure into a victory. You know, like just lost, but did he really lose? First of all, he got 11 million more votes than the last time when he won. 11 million more votes. The most of any sitting president in history, the most of any Republican in history. He dragged along with him really what was a big red wave on election night for the Senate and for the House.
Yeah, disaster for Democrats.
All the seats all over the country. We won everything. You know, they stole the election. Trump did win, but he could still turn this into a loss because we've got the U.S. Supreme Court. I funny feel, even though Trump's a big underdog, promising or guaranteeing anything, he is a huge underdog right now, and it looks like Biden's the next one. But if there's anybody to pull it off, it's Trump. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Democrats are way too lackadaisical, way too overconfident, and they may find in the next few days Trump turns things around, the Supreme Court rules in our favor, and the next president being sworn up, Biden and Trump, and they're going to get the shock of their life. But let's say Trump loses, which is bad for you and me, for America, bad for conservatives. No doubt about that. I keep in that as a positive in any way. I guarantee you that Trump will turn the loss into a win, which is the whole philosophy of the book. If Trump loses, he comes back for years and becomes the second elected after losing.
That was my next question for you.
And during those 4 years, Josh, I guarantee you he starts at a TV network and it becomes bigger than Fox. Fox basically put Fox out of business and writes a book with a $20 million advance. Trump will turn the loss into a victory. He will still have 74 million people in the Trump army behind him for all 4 years. So this isn't a loss. You know, normal people will be a loss. Trump will turn it into a positive.
So you're a Vegas guy, Wayne. Give me the odds here. Let's say that this does not go the way we all want it to go. Biden does end up being inaugurated. What do you say the odds are that we see candidate Trump back in 2024?
Well, it's the worst kept rumor in Washington that if he loses in the Supreme Court to return it, he's going to announce again for president during Biden's inauguration. Worst kept secret in Hollywood or in Washington. So, I mean, he's going to upend the inauguration of Joe Biden, and I guarantee you he'll have more people watching. He will have a bigger crowd. You know, size does matter. He will have a bigger, I promise you. So nobody watching Biden, they'll all want to see what Trump has to say about Biden and about it again. So it'll be very interesting. Trump has a flair for the dramatic. I have a flair for the dramatic. I learned it from Trump. I don't do TV or radio. I do entertainment. It's not politics. It's entertainment. Yeah. It's having fun, being outrageous. I'm not a political commentator. I'm a shock jock. I'm a Howard Stern of conservative politics, you know, and that's what Trump is. He's Stern of presidents. And so we just have fun and say whatever comes to mind. And I don't really care who offend. And I think that's why my show loaded, because people tune in, including all my liberal friends tune in, and they say, I don't really agree with anything you say, But man, I tune in just to hear what you're going to say.
Wayne,
So that's my style.
No, that's completely true, though. That's completely true. I've been with you on the air for hours now, over the years. I've been with you in person. I've sat with you at dinners and things, and you you are a ton of fun. You are what I imagine Trump would be like too. I mean, you're fun, confident, cut up, and you've got it put together. So you think one of the big Trump rules is he's a winner. He pushes to win nonstop, no matter what.
But he lose. Rule number 2 is fail away to the top. Whenever liberals attack Trump, what do they say? Just say, Josh. They say, "Oh, loser! Oh, he failed at his casinos in Atlantic City. Oh, he failed with airlines." I'm a very in your face. The only way to answer that is to throw it at him. My entire chapter is all his failures. He's failed like 4 times, but he succeeded 1,000. So liberals don't understand that concept. I always say, what do you call a business owner who has 10, 9 of them fail? Millionaire. You only need 1.
That's it. Isn't the stat that I think the average number of bankruptcies for millionaires is about 7, something like that? I mean, America is set up so that can happen. Say what?
I've gone undersized, but always come out ahead. So all I can tell you is, Trump is winner. Winning is the number 1. Number 2 is fail and come back big. Get up off the ground, dust yourself off, get in the horse, and learn from it and bigger. Number 3 is the critics are idiots. That's a big one for Trump. He doesn't give a damn what I don't give a damn what critics say. If I ever read what people said about me on Twitter, which I don't, I wouldn't want to come from under the bed sheets each day. Right? People are just vicious and jealous, and they're envious. They have nothing nice to say about successful people. So all you do is you forge forward relentlessly, ignore the critics, and then when you see, you throw it right in their face. That's Trump. That's me. It's me. And then the last I'll mention is quite a few rules of all good, but relentless. Trump is relentless with the book, the power of relentless, more important than your college degree or how smart you are, your IQ, or even your personality. The important trait of a mayor or a billionaire is to be relentless. Just no matter what throw at you, you never stop fighting. You stop coming at them.
Never give
you're
up.
Like Rocky in the movies. Sly Stallone in the Rocky. They could hit you 1,000 times till you're punch drunk, and you just keep coming, and they can't knock you out. You're gonna get bruised, and you're punch drunk. But you're gonna win that fight, and that's how Trump is. That's how I am. I learned it from him. That's the Trump rules.
Yeah, definitely. So, Wayne, for the conservatives out there that are thinking about buying your book and are thinking about taking a look at it, what is one thing that you hope they take away from it, if nothing else?
Well, the takeaway is that Trump's a great guy. I mean, if you read the book, there's some really cool stories, inside stories in baseball of me and Trump, how I met him, and things he said to me. We met, and I think when you read though. That's not at all that I've seen in the media. Don't they call him a Nazi and he and Hitler and KKK and white extremist? I'll tell you one story. How did I meet Trump? I met him in my life until I heard he was going to run for president. And I wrote a column and put it on a conservative website like West Journal. It wasn't your journal because I didn't know you guys. I think it was Blaze. I think it was Glenn Beck site, the Blaze. And it basically said that Trump would make a great, we need a businessman. And the next day, I get an email from Donald J. Trump, and I thought it going to be a pitch for I thought it was like a sales pitch for the Trump organization. I thought infomercial, and I opened it up, letter from Trump, and he's attached the letter. It's a C letter from Donald J. Trump. I opened the attachment, and he's saying, "I loved your column. Keep up the good work. I'll be watching." Donald J. Trump. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Every politician in America, not one of them had ever contacted me. Trump did. And for the next 3 before he announced president, every time I wrote something about him, he sent me a letter. Finally, an email. And fast one said, next week on Monday, whatever day it was, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next Tuesday, I'm going to be coming down an escalator with a very important announcement. And I think it'll make you very happy and proud, Wayne. So I knew he was announced president before anyone in this country knew it. And I wrote a column for Fox News, and I said, a little birdie told me I'm going to announce for president, and it's going to be on this day. If it happens that day, make sure my column comes out on that day. Fox News published it, I said on that day, you're looking at the next president of the United States. He was 1% in the polls at that point.
Man.
A lot of stories between me and Trump that are really kind of heartwarming and show you that he is not your typical politician. The rest of them fake being nice. He doesn't fake it, and sometimes he's not nice. But in real, he's actually quite nice and smart. And the rest of them fake it, and they're not nice at all. So Trump. I'll take him over all the others.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, I want to ask you one more question about the book, and then I want to ask you about a couple of current events. When you and I were talking about this ahead of time, you sent me a mind-boggling list of all of the categories your book was number one in on Amazon. Now, I've seen books that were number one in one category or number two or number one in a couple categories. Wayne, it seems to me like you were number one in 5 or 10 different categories at once.
I think it was 12.
12.
Not to quibble over numbers. I think it was 12.
That's got to be a record or something.
And half were political, and the other half were this. I was number one in sales, number one in marketing, number one in business negotiations. It was a lot of category, very cool. And it stayed. That was like a one-second thing. I was number one in all those categories at various times for the last 5 weeks. And finally dropped off in the last week just a little bit because I didn't do any media. I got really busy with my publicly traded company, and I haven't done any media till today. Today's the first.
Well, that's what was amazing. This was before any kind of PR blitz or anything. It just popped on its own.
It popped because I have a pretty big on Parler now, and a pretty big follower on Twitter. You know, on both I have over or right around 100,000, 140,000 on the other. And I've got my national radio show. So I mentioned it on my radio show, and I mentioned it on Twitter. Sure. And that lit it off to a good start and got me number one. And now I'm some media. It's actually been a really busy day, my 5th or 6th show of the day. So a lot of stuff's gone on today. And I do my show right when we're done with this. I national, a lot of stuff going on. I don't even know how I do it. My head's explode. It's mind-boggling stuff. But I like working. That's another Trump one, by the way. You know, you could say you love Trump or you hate Trump, but he's got the most incredible ethic of anyone I've ever seen, other than me. I just work 16 hours a day. I'm the person who enjoys going out and doing things that maybe other people would call fun. I just work. I enjoy working, making money, and becoming popular and meeting more people, and more people read columns, and more people read my books. That version of fun. That's Trump fun. But we do it so that it is fun. In other words, your vocation needs to be your vacation. That's what will make you work harder. You got to like what you do. I don't work 16 hours a day and I hate it. I work 16 hours a day because I love it. I'd rather work than ski on a slope and be a ski bum. I'd rather work than beach in Hawaii. I'll do a week each year, but overall, 50 out of 52 weeks, 16-hour day guy.
Man, and that is Trump too. The high energy. I can't remember who it was. Somebody who worked with him said the biggest compliment he can give anybody is high energy, and that's what he is. He is nothing but high. He is a ball of energy. And the guy, I don't know how late he stays up each night, but we know he gets up at 4 or 4:30 in the morning, starts his day then, and goes as hard as he can.
I do too. If you email me or text me at 4 in the morning, you don't answer it within 5 minutes. So usually I do. The difference between me and Trump, negative of Trump, because even though I could appreciate someone, I could tell you what's wrong with him too. I mean, he's not perfect. He's superhuman, but he's still human, and he's flawed. He eats the crappiest shit in the world. He eats like McDonald's, French fries, and a Coke. Airplane or Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I just can't believe they have that kind of energy. And he's been healthy as and he even beat COVID without campaigning a week later. Yeah. He's an amazing guy, but he must have the brains in the world. Because the reason I have this energy is because I eat the healthiest, cleanest diet in the world.
Yeah, you're huge on that.
Food, non-gluten, no fast food, no junk food, no TV, there's no soda. I'm the cleanest in the world, and I pop 100 vitamin pills a day. That's why I'm healthy and my energy's high. And I work an hour to 2 hours a day every day. It doesn't work out other than play golf, which is not exactly a heavy work. It's not exactly aerobic, riding in the cart. So, I mean, Trump does work out, doesn't exercise, doesn't have a good diet, and doesn't pop vitamins. And that my key to all of that is to do all of that. I'm an average person. I become superhuman energy only because of vitamins healthy diet and exercise. So we are different in one way.
All right, talking about health, I want to hear what you're seeing in Nevada as far as COVID goes, and I want to share with you a very interesting set of statistics. If you go over to the CDC's Flu View website, where they keep track of what's happening with the flu, you see something very interesting happening.
Nothing,
I've got the stats
right?
in front of
no
me
flu.
right now.
There's no flu, Josh.
No flu. No flu.
No.
No flu. This is what's amazing, though, Wayne. This year, let's see here, on average for the last 5 years, at this point they had done about 20,000 tests, and they were coming up with about 6% of those people having the flu, about 1,300 people. This year, in week 48, they had done 27,000 flu tests. You know how many people had the flu out of that? 22! 22! Wow. It went from 1,300, almost 1,400, down to 22. Wayne, something doesn't smell right with this.
Well, there's no flu anymore, and there's no cancer anymore, and there's no disease anymore, and there's no strokes
America's
anymore.
the healthiest country in the world, except for COVID, apparently.
Nobody gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
Nobody gets in the car. It's COVID. Everything's COVID. By the way, John Hopkins, and Harvard, Stanford. Hopkins has to be the biggest name in medicine in the United States. And John Hopkins put out a study 2 weeks ago that said just this, guys. I don't know if you caught it. It actually said that the death rate of America is lower than it was this year, even with COVID. And it's lower than the year before that. About the same last 5 years. They're increasing deaths. And what's really amazing, even among people the age of 70, which is where all the COVID death, by the way, that's what's so nice about lockdowns. If you're under 70, you're not going to die. It's almost zero chance. So why would you lock down 70 and 80 and 90-year-olds and leave everybody else alone? But the point, even 70 and over, the death rate is the same as the last 5 years, give or take one or two people, exactly the same. And the conclusion came to is they're calling COVID. So for every COVID death that goes up, cancer, disease, and go down, it's exactly a wash. Did you know within 2 days of putting that up at JohnHopkins.com, it was taken down and never said? Because liberals went crazy and lost their minds because you can't lock down everyone if you put things like that. So between John admitting that and the New England Journal of Medicine only a week ago talking about a new study out that involves U.S. Marine recruits that proves that lockdowns not work and quarantines not work. And if you quarantine people, they get more COVID, not less, more COVID that was not strictly quarantined. The mainstream media has never mentioned either study, nor have they mentioned in Denmark. They did a huge study, proved masks don't work, and that came out 2 weeks ago. None of this is ever the mainstream media.
I found a really interesting tool today that I will email you after the show because I think you'll like this too. The Delphi Project over at Carnegie Mellon, they've been tracking mask compliance rates, basically what percentage of people are wearing masks. And they've got it broken down by state and by county and by metro area. And Wayne, get this, in D.C., they have got better than 99% compliance with masks. Better than 99%. All of these metro areas where it's surging, everybody's already wearing masks, right. Wayne. When are we going to get it through our heads that masks are not the panacea that everybody, especially President Biden now with his 100-day. Remember with Trump, it was 15 days to stop the spread. Now it's 100 days to stop the spread. When are we going to figure this out?
Don't forget, in California, they're among the most masks in the world. Everybody wears a mask. Everyone's in compliance. Everyone's locked down. Everything's closed. Ghost town. They've destroyed everything, and they've got the highest surge COVID rates. So it's all a bunch of BS. Here's the real truth. Nothing I would recommend, and I think I have a much better program than Biden or Trump, anybody. But my vitamins and build your immune system, work out, eat healthy, and take a lot of vitamin C, a lot of vitamin D, and a lot of. That's the only know of that could keep people from getting COVID. There is no cure, no guarantee, but you're better off with a strong system. But nothing really has ever been proven in world history to stop a flu pandemic. And studies done. If you lock down and mask, or if you don't lock down and don't mask, it'll be the same amount of COVID. There's no reason to close society, and there's no reason to close business. In 1968, 69, America had hunk flu, And guess what? They didn't close anything, and people went to ball games. People went to school, and 1,000 Americans died. The media didn't make a big deal of it, and we all got written life on.
Well, yes, and remember, Joe Biden. You've made this point. Joe Biden was the one who was in charge of the swine flu response back in 2009. And hey, you know what, Wayne? When he was in charge of swine flu, I got it. Trump was in charge of dealing with COVID. And as far as we can tell, as far as we know, it started around February or so. I hadn't had anything since February. So, I'm doing better by Trump than I was when Biden was running the swine flu.
You and I are doing better than Trump, because I haven't had it. You haven't had it. Try to Trump out. But think of all the people Trump was around, and he got it one time. That he beat it in just a few days, gave a parade, then started giving speeches again three times a day. He's just the most amazing guy ever. Even I, if I got it, I was in a hospital, would not think 1 week later I'd be out on the pain trail. You think he would take this off before the election. Maybe that would explain why he lost. Well, he didn't take 1 second off, and he would work harder than he's ever worked, and he did 4 or 5 events a day. Well, Biden hid in his basement with a mask on, and you expect me to believe Biden won? The American people saw the most vital man in the world doing 5 events a day a week after COVID, and the other guy was hiding in his basement. And when he finally came out of the basement to do an event in Vegas, 20 people showed up. He did an event in Phoenix, saw 10 people showed up. And you expect me to believe that guy won the presidency and got more than anyone in history, and more votes than Obama in his year? Really expect me to believe that? The biggest fraud in the history of the world. What's the biggest fraud? And what happened in the election is fraud in world history. We just elected an old, weak, feeble man and dementia who belongs in living, not the White House. And they managed to scam the world and convince us that he won with massive voter fraud.
Well, Wayne, even if we walk away from this with the courts not having sided with Trump, I will forever believe that look, take packing ballot boxes and all that stuff, put it off to the side. If nothing else, the only way Biden won this was by them sending out millions and millions and millions of ballots that could have been intercepted, that could have been used fraudulently. Had those not gone out, take Dominion out of it, all of that stuff. Had those ballots not gone out, we would be dealing with President and, once again, President-elect Trump right now.
Well, you know what? I've written at least 2 articles about this. I mentioned all the ways fraud was so many. But I've always said, take all of that out. Everything except one thing. I've got a different angle.
Yeah.
My angle is just very simple. Can you imagine if they played a foot game like last Monday night? Not this Monday, but the month before that. Philadelphia Seattle Seahawks, and the Eagles lost by 6. And they shot the gun in the air. The game's over. You go home. You wake up the next morning, and the headline says Eagles won by 6. We found 12 extra points
magically overnight.
Right. So that's the way they stole the election. With those ballots you're talking about overnight. Let's all stop. Never been done in history. They all coordinated it, and conspired. How did people know? How did Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Nevada, and Georgia, and Michigan, and Wisconsin, all 6 stop the count at the same time around midnight? And then it turned out they didn't stop count. They just sent all the witness home. Wasn't a Republican in the room. Suddenly the count is an extra 300,000 to nothing for Joe Biden. Anyone who believes that, I've got a bridge to you in Vegas over the ocean. You are dumb if you do that. That means Barr is the Attorney General of the United States, or he's in on it. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. The thing I can't help thinking about this, I think I mentioned this last time I was on your show. I always go back to Nixon and JFK, and I think it's clear Nixon won that election, but he knew it was for the good of the country that he would step back and just let things go. And it never occurred to Biden to do that at all. Never occurred to Biden at all.
No, but let me tell you what I would say upon hearing what you're saying. They'd say, you're right. Maybe you're right. And Trump could concede for the good of the country. And I would argue that if Trump were to concede right now, we just give to Biden, the number one will never win election.
Yeah.
Because even if Trump runs again, we'll never win another election. Because then you've said cheating is okay, and you've legalized it, and you've allowed mail voting forevermore. You allow massive irregularities. You allowed people to vote, homeless people to vote, illegal aliens to vote, people who moved out of state to vote in multiple states, people voting in multiple states. You know, if you allow this to stand, we're never winning another election. Democrats get out, and they're going to stuff a box in Georgia, and we'll lose both of those races too. If Republicans are as dumb as I think they are, they'll lose both those races too. And then they've got a clear path to destroy America for the next 4 years, and they did because they stole. Allowed them then to open the boards, let millions of new people in, let them all vote, let all the people hear, and we're done forever. America is finished.
Yeah,
so you cannot let this stand.
Yeah, you're right. You have to fight. You can't let it. You can't, even if you are the underdog, you have to fight. You can't let it stand. And talking about Georgia, I don't know what in the world induced Purdue not to show up to his to that debate, but it's horrifying. But anyway, we're getting too far afield. And Wayne, we've taken up too much of your time. I know you gave us part of your 16 hours a day, and we want to be respectful of that. Show us the book one more time, if you don't mind. The book is Trump Rules. It's by Wayne Allyn Root, the capitalist evangelist, the self-proclaimed SOB, son of a butcher from New York. Trump Rules. It is a book talking about how the principles Trump has lived his life by, and how you can use those to get ahead in your life. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Our greatest Christmas gift ever.
Excellent Christmas gift.
Every Trump fan in your life, I tweet them. Give them out like candy.
And hey, not political. So you can give it to that family member who's not political. It won't offend them.
Merry Christmas.
Good luck with it. Merry Christmas to you, Wayne. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye, Josh. Bye, Deborah.
Thanks. And folks who've been watching from home, our audience, we appreciate you. Thank you for being with us on WJ Live. Thank you for joining me and Deborah. A couple of housekeeping things. Remember, big tech suppression is a real thing. They are trying to silence us. They are trying to silence people like Wayne. They're trying to get us off the air and make sure you don't hear from us. One way that you can deal with that is check us out on YouTube. Hopefully you're watching us on YouTube right now. Go to youtube.com/WJ Live. On there, you're going to be able to click the subscribe button. Click it.
Ding.
No, you did it early. After that, there's a bell that you click.
Ding.
Then the ding. That's when you click the bell, that's going to notify you every time we go live. Make sure you don't miss the show. Also, of course, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're on Parler and MeWe now as well. Wayne mentioned how his Parler following was doing. It was doing really well. We just got an update on last month's numbers from Parler. We are growing on there exponentially. We grew almost 200% on there in the last month. Exciting things happening there. And last thing, thank you for your support. As always, big tech is trying to suppress us. We can use all the help we can get. There are advertisers who blacklist us. If you feel compelled, if you feel moved to, we would really appreciate your support. You can go to westernjournal.com/join. westernjournal.com/join. You can join us and provide some monthly support. There are some neat benefits you get from that. You can get one of these cool Western Journal mugs that says we're equipping readers with the truth. There are a number of other things you can get through that service. And we just appreciate, we don't want to pour mouth. We don't want to put a guilt trip on you at all. If you feel led to support us, that would be wonderful. If you don't feel led to, man, keep tuning in. We want you here. We want to be able to talk with you about the truth. Give us your feedback in the comments. And remember, we are here every day, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. WJ Live is here. And we're going to see you tomorrow. Thanks and have a great day.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Samantha, and I'm the community manager for the Western Journal. We've really enjoyed recording WJ Live these last few weeks, and we have some exciting news.
We are now on Apple Podcasts, but we need to ask you a favor.
In order to equip even more listeners with the truth and fight against big tech,
we need to get more subscribers and reviews.
So please, go find WJ Live on Apple Podcasts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a 5-star review. Oh, and tell them you want to see more of me on the podcast.
Thank you for helping us out. And don't forget that you can catch a new episode of WJ Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and now Apple Podcasts.